Kung Fu truly teaches self-mastery through discipline, hard work, and perseverance, emphasizing a balance between body and mind. However, only a few people believe in its effectiveness. In fact, many doubt whether this Chinese martial art can truly be relied upon for self-defense. So, is this claim valid? Let's find out. In this first clip, a Wing Chun master confidently claims that he can defeat Tyson in just 3 moves. Not only that, he boldly claims to be on the same level as Ip Man, who could take on 10 opponents at once, even if he were only allowed to use his hands to fight. But when he was challenged by an amateur boxer and fought barehanded, all his claims ended up sounding like nothing more than a bedtime story. He claimed he could defeat Tyson and take on 10 people at once, but in reality, he couldn't even handle a single amateur boxer. In the next clip, a female bodyguard tries to challenge a Kung Fu master who's in the middle of training. But surprisingly, the Kung Fu master actually accepts the challenge. And when the fight begins, the female bodyguard manages to land a punch right on the Kung Fu master's face. The fight quickly intensifies after that, but it doesn't take long before the Kung Fu master calls it off. It's clear he's completely out of stamina. Moving on somehow, the two ended up in the same ring, though it's unclear how they met. What's certain is that the Kung Fu master seemed pretty confident, knowing he was up against an amateur kickboxer. As soon as the fight started, he immediately launched a kick. Even so, the amateur kickboxer was still able to keep going and even managed to turn the tables. You could say that the kickboxer gave the Kung Fu master some of the toughest minutes he had ever experienced. Seeing what was happening, the referee decided to stop the fight because the Kung Fu master had basically turned into a moving punching bag for the amateur kickboxer. Another defeat for a Kung Fu expert happens in this clip. An embarrassing one as he's taken down during a sparring match by none other than a cameraman. Just imagine, the cameraman manages to pull off multiple takedowns against the Kung Fu practitioner. Another equally interesting moment takes place in this clip, where a Shaolin Kung Fu practitioner is challenged by a retired police officer. But before the match even begins, the retired officer acts arrogantly, even causing a commotion with the Shaolin Kung Fu fighter. And once they're both in the ring, the retired police officer quickly launches a fierce and aggressive attack on the Shaolin Kung Fu practitioner. Not willing to back down, the Kung Fu practitioner turns the fight around by landing a punch and scoring a knockdown with a powerful kick, leaving the retired police officer clearly in pain. Realizing his opponent had suffered a serious injury, the Kung Fu practitioner didn't just go for upper body strikes, he kept targeting the retired officer's injured leg as well. The number of knockdowns delivered by the Kung Fu practitioner became too many to count. But to his credit, the retired police officer was incredibly tough and refused to give up easily. In the end, the injury to the retired police officer's leg forced him to accept defeat. A middle-aged man claimed to be a Kung Fu master who had spent 29 years traveling and training at 300 different martial arts schools. With all that experience, he challenged anyone to fight him, with a reward of 33,000 yuan, or roughly $4,600, on the line. But once he stepped into the ring, it was an amateur boxer who managed to land several knockdowns, thanks to a series of well-placed punches. After taking multiple knockdowns, the Kung Fu master finally admitted defeat. The same goes for this Kung Fu master. He also tried to take on an amateur fighter, but once in the ring, he struggled to put up any real fights.